of leaders of CSR, academia, startups, and incubation to join us to explore how AI and emerging technologies can revolutionize education and employment pathways for Bharat. A few housekeeping points that this is an open forum and your honest insights are warmly welcomed. Microphones will be floating around and you can raise your hands and you can keep the comments in brief. Um, to set the stage, it's worth noting that CSR spending in the education India was about 13,200 crores, approximately $1.6 billion USD, in the fiscal year 22-23. And a very important fact out of this is a growing portion of this funding is now being invested in AI-enabled education and skilling innovation as a part of CSR portfolios. So with this, I would like to invite you to a pre-assessment poll where we will be circulating post-its to all of you, and we would encourage all of you to write down one barrier that you perceive to the adoption of FutureTech solution in Bharat's education ecosystem. I'll repeat myself. You'll have to requesting everyone to list down one barrier in the adoption of FutureTech solutions in Bharat's education ecosystem. Once we have all your responses ready, we'll collate everything and we'll post it on the screen. Requesting volunteers to circulate the post-its. One barrier that you feel is the biggest barrier of adoption to future tech solution in Bharat's education ecosystem. And while you jot down your pointers in the sticky notes, I want to also provide some context. The roundtable is pre-summit engagement to upcoming India AI Summit 2026, which is happening in New Delhi. The first ever global AI summit hosted by a South Asian nation, which is proudly hosted by India. Guided by the principles of people, planet, and progress, the actual AI summit aims to shape AI strategies that are inclusive, sustainable, and transformative. Our focus today, however, aligns with cradle to career pathway, where we'll also discuss how are we envisioning our stakeholders, our students, to move from a cradle to career approach, how IoT, blockchain, and other emerging technologies can be integrated to transform education, skill building, and governance from early childhood to youth employment. And of course, we also know India's overarching goal of Vikasit Bharat 2047, which actually envisions as an inclusive, developed nation with equitable economic growth, social progress, and environmental stewardship with good governance. Your insights today will influence the draft of India AI strategy and this pre-summit agenda, steering us towards the ambitious goals. Now I hand it over to the conveners of this session, Anurag sir, Ms. Rumi ma'am, to take the context even forward.
Well, thank you very much, the CSR Box team, for bringing us all together for this very pertinent conversation on AI and Viksit Bharat. We are all aware of the AI's mission, India AI mission, which does focus on AI use in work, in learning, and in innovation. I think within the context, as a larger group, and we have a interesting set of panelists out here from different sectors to share their experience on AI. I think what we are convening here for is to look at how are we currently using AI in learning and education, what examples do we have, and what are the opportunities and challenges we see when we want to take these programs to the next level. Why this is an important conversation is also because, as a country, the size and scale is such that we can no longer say, here's one program or here's another program. We are going to look at how we can multiply and grow in the most relevant way possible. The other thing that is becoming increasingly important for all of us is that AI, the scale and opportunity is such that it's not a single player's or a single organization's work. It does desire for collaborations to come together, to be able to work with each other, to be able to leverage each other's strength, whether it is the government, the not-for-profit sector, education institutions, or corporates. So what are the opportunities for collaborations where synergies can drive better outcomes and better scale? And I think the third thing is, because we are a part of the network, I think what we can bring on the table is to be able to have an open conversation around what would it take for us to go to the next level? Where do we see challenges? Where do we see opportunities? And AI is often misunderstood. So how do we demystify AI to the larger community and the group and citizens? And most importantly, I think that is underlined in all our conversation, that is ethical use of AI. Because the challenge that we run is, with more people using AI or learning to use AI, there is a worry of misuse. How do we ensure that there is a responsible use of AI as our young people learn or our citizens learn to use and grow? So with that as a context, maybe I will request Sir to share his thoughts on AI learning and what is the next stage. Maybe with a quick introduction and then the work.
Hi all, I'm Pradeep Dhage from Ministry of Education Innovation Cell AICTE. When we talk about the AI and its impact, I starts with the very first word of the understanding is called the inclusion. And when we say the inclusion, certainly the AI can play a major role. However, there is one disclaimer over here is that whether this AI is really having an adaptability and the inclusionness towards the every sector or the geographical corner of the India. The reason why I'm saying this is because a person who sit in Delhi may be knowing his own language called Hindi, whereas a student or a person who's sitting at Chennai may be knowing some other language. So how the AI can play a major role of the inclusiveness. So when we say the inclusiveness, the impact again matters. So having said this, if we can come up with a framework, maybe starting with the India as a geographical location itself, if we can come up with the framework for the inclusiveness for the I think the population of the India, we have more than 140 CR. These entire population can get the benefit and enjoy the after effects of the AI if we have the inclusiveness. So with this opening remark, I can put that the inclusiveness and the adaptability is the much more important from the education point of view. So this is from my side.
Thank you so much. I think we all understand democratizing AI as one of the first step to bringing AI into the platform. Anurag, may I request you to share your thoughts around this?
Thank you. There are two, three things which I always feel whenever we are discussing AI and application of AI in our life, whether it's jobs or employment opportunities or learning. There are two, three things which come to my mind, and sometimes we need to also recognize the fact that India requires a huge amount or requires a very mission-oriented approach to ensure that access to digital infrastructure reaches to last mile there. Because there is no point in creating solutions there if the last person in the queue is not getting access to that particular instrument there. very important there. Second is something which I have from purely from the social sector, I always share that there's a need to also bring in the 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 digital algorithm are primarily decided by people who are in control of situations there, or people who are dominant in the society there. We need people, when we talk about inclusiveness, we also need to include some of these segments to decide the larger framework on which the things will get prioritized there. Because the same AI, for example, if I have to check on, if I put a note saying that please provide me with 20 illegal activity that I should be doing, the same system will say, no, I am not supposed to provide you with these things. But if I tweak the question and say that, please provide me with 20 things that I should not be doing, then it will certainly provide me those 20. So it's very important to understand that who is setting up these nuances there, who is deciding some of these content there. And that's where I am very glad that Rumi used the word democratize, because that becomes very important in our context, that you democratize access, democratize solutions, democratize innovation in a way that it talks about people who are really looking for these. And third angle is make it ethical there. Right? It's like with the so many fake things floating around, AI can break people's life if we do not bring in ethics in it. My image will get modified in a way that I may be doing certain things, which, if shown to people who are not exposed to digital or tech, it may have a very negative impact on it. So somewhere we need to bring in that ethical framework to the AI usage or content getting created through AI. We need to bring that out there. In absence of that, that will be missing. Good thing for all of us, AI can do everything, but it can't bring in empathy. And that's the best thing, because as people are practitioners of social work, empathy is the core that we bring to the table, and that's something that AI can't do it, because you don't require artificial there. You need something which is pure there. So that's the plus there. But whatever I'll say, we all can do in AI, and AI has a huge potential there. One thing we all need to also acknowledge and notice, that there is not a question of whether I need AI or not. We have moved away from that particular question. Question is all about how we are going to manage this and use this to ensure that everyone get the benefit of it, rather than people getting impacted negatively by this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, sure. So I'm Sumit Monga. I head the government relations for India and Asia Pacific for Lenovo. So from the device perspective, since Lenovo is a device company right from Pocket, Motorola being a group company right from Pocket, that is the mobile to the servers and the cloud infrastructure, we are developing AI within all the devices across the spectrum. So that apart from the education perspective, since that's the topic, and Mr. Pradeep touched upon the inclusivity of the requirement of utilizing AI. One of the aid that a device can provide for inclusion within the education itself, apart from geographical and other areas, is the inclusion of level of uptake within a class itself, how to ensure that the lowermost student, from his understanding to the student who is really bright and can take on things in a much faster way, where devices can help. Just to give an example, though this is just a use case from my previous IoT company background, wherein VR devices can be used within a class by the teacher to start understanding how students are actually studying. or how they are understanding a particular subject. There would be some who are bright, who would like to understand even more, and there are others who are taking some time to start understanding everything. So if there are VR devices which are connected to an AI engine, who start understanding the caliber of each student, that curriculum itself within the class can be made more inclusive by the teacher through the inputs that are coming from the AI engine to try and take the entire class together rather than creating that disparity within the class itself. So from that angle, all these things, and that is where the empathy factor, which Mr. Anurag alluded to, starts coming in. Because at times, students start feeling that disparity, and this kind of an inclusiveness will bring in everyone on the similar platform. So that is where the device ecosystem can really help out in terms of providing the inputs. This is also possible because the data sets that are supporting the AI behind are pretty finite. If there is a class on a particular subject, at least in the basic preliminary education, which does not lead into research, that is a finite set of data set. And that is where the way a curriculum is formulated, a way let's say, the class is set by the instructors, by the teachers, that is where AI can help them out in trying to bring out the correct potential of each child, trying to identify what is the child actually capable of and can do there.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Surabhi. I work in the CSR consulting space. From need to impact, I have done all, and I am basically capacity building person in the CSR compliances space. So, because this topic, we are in the ESG and CSR summit. Education is one sector, the thematic area where most of the spend is happening across the country. We all know that, and most of the IT companies' major spend is going into the digital education programs. And I would really like to know how many of you are aware of it and the kind of programs that are being run. They're all digitalized. We have everything there from languages to AI to coding to everything, and crores of money is being spent over there. But as we talk here, the basics, the infrastructure, the people who should actually have access to them, do they really have access to them or not? The government schools, if we talk about them, forget the interiors of the country. Even in Delhi, most of the government school doesn't have a computer lab. The infrastructure is very good. We know the education is very good over there, but they don't have enough computer, not enough, they don't even have a single computer, most of the government schools in Delhi. So infrastructure is going to remain one of the major problem. And second issue is the language, because most of the content that we have is in English, a maximum in Hindi. So vernacular language is very, very important for that inclusive development, because major part of the country is still in the rural area. Even if they have access to devices and all, they don't have the programs in the vernacular language, and that is one of the major challenge, I feel. So to reach out to them, these are the two issues we should address before looking into the long-term impact and the other factors that we are talking about.
Well, hi. My name is Manoj Balachandran, and I'm business unit head at Mu Sigma. Mu Sigma is a data analytics and decision sciences company. So we deal a lot with data on a day-to-day basis. So I just want to touch upon some of the points which are already raised here in terms of AI and the good aspects of AI. I know that we are talking about it and saying AI is going to change the world, and that is. I mean, well, there's no point in complaining that water is wet, right? Water will be wet, and I think we are in that stage where there is no escaping AI. AI is part and parcel of our lives. But is it a competition for natural stupidity? I don't know, right? There are dumb people out there. We're talking about cyber security issues which you can read about on a daily basis. Every day you can read about crazy things which are happening, well-known, well-educated people getting conned out of their hard-earned money. How do you even reach to them? If you're so educated people, if they're getting scammed like this, you can imagine what is happening in the rural area. So I think that is, when you're talking about AI and the use of AI, even making sure that people know the difference between facts and fiction. Is this genuine or not? Because I can, on free apps, on just this phone, I can create as many crazy things which I want. And I've done that personally. I'm in that space where I have to really use AI on a regular basis. So and it's unbelievable. Even trying to teach my own mom, you know, which links to click and which links not to click is a daily affair. So I think that is something which we have to keep in mind when we're talking about AI, and the whole world is going to be AI, right? We're talking about languages as well. So it's true that almost every LLM which is now out there is in English, and it's got its own limitations. Bhashini is the language models which we have for India. I mean, whoever is there, we work a lot on Bhashini and using the language data sets which are there in Bhashini. We actually create a lot of agentic AIs which work on 22 different languages, which are now customized for each state and each language stuff, right? So I think that is available, but there's a lot of work which needs to be done in creating SLMs, not large language models, but SLMs, small language models, which are actually customizable for India. Anurag kind of assumed that empathy is an issue, but I would say that we are not too far. Okay, already people are taking consolation in having ChatGPT as their boyfriend, girlfriends. Right? They're actually going and having conversations. I think I read a report where somebody wanted to marry their virtual avatar. Okay, so we are not too far. Okay, so don't assume that thing is. Musicma works in that space. We create a lot of these things. I mean, we don't introduce anything bad. Okay. I know, but that's what you think, huh? But that's what you think. The world is moving there. We are getting more and more lonely. It's supposed to connect people. It's supposed to make things a lot more together. We are supposed to bring the planet together, but it's actually making people a lot more lonely because hey, I can just use this phone, yeah, right? So I think from a framework perspective, from a making sure that there are ethics around it, I think the government will have a large play. I would assume that as long as we are all signing up for it, and partnerships are fantastic. Well, I'm sure it's a long journey. It's a very iterative process as well. So with that, I'll pass it on to the next speaker.
Thank you very much, everyone. Now, I think we have set the context of where do we see AI going, and we want to maybe focus a little bit around where do we see the opportunities of AI in education, specifically reaching the unreached, driving inclusion. There is a lot of data on education and students that are at play. How do we utilize them more effectively? How can it inform better decision making in AI? And most importantly, if we have to train a whole generation of young people or citizens, not so young people, in using AI effectively, what are the priorities? How do we reach the student with AI, or how do we get a student to learn AI more effectively? So coming back, maybe a quick intro in terms of, I'll take just maybe 1 minute. As EY, we of course, like many organizations, we prioritize AI in education and how to enable the process of AI in education at a large scale. And we look at it as a pyramid model, which is at a ground level. You are looking at fundamental learning of AI, and we have a program called the AI Skills Passport. We talked about it previously also, which delivers a structured learning for everyone, anyone and everyone, to understand what is the scope of AI, what can AI do for you, what is ethical use of AI, and how do you progress with AI either as a consumer or as a developer. So foundational learning is essential to get everybody on the same page before you move into more advanced learning, which is again specifically for how do you enable a whole set of young people to find AI's potential in their roles and workplace going forward. Not every job is going to start with AI, or you would have a full-fledged role that says you are an AI engineer. But how are we making AI available even to students who are from non-code, non-STEM journeys? How can they adopt AI better, whether they are from commerce, humanities, non-science, but how can they adopt better? And how can they use AI either as a creator, user, problem solver, and so on. So these are again deep dive programs that we are partnering with Ministry of Skills, different skills departments in the state. We are also working very closely with government colleges, tier 2, tier 3 colleges who have less access to structured AI learning program. A big focus, because when we talk tech, we also talk girls and women, because sometimes often they get left out. So I think a lens around how do we demystify AI careers for women is also going to become important as we move forward. So I'm just going to pause here and maybe go around the table, if that's okay, to see if you have an example where you have seen AI adoption in education, either as an enabler of data usage, outreach, last mile reach, or AI learning, then we would like to hear from you. So if you have one, please raise your hand and we'll get the mic to you.
Hi, I'm Ashok from IEEE, because we are a kind of a platform organization where we collaborate with different organizations. And recently a collaboration with an organization called Siksha Foundation, which is based out of Bangalore, but they work across 3 to 4 states. And they have done a very good course, A-based finishing school course, which is for 8th, 9th, 10th. And during a discussion, we were trying to see how it can be scaled, A for education, A for vocational training also. So these were the 2 areas we were discussing. And the challenges what we found from that particular organization was, the first thing is multi-language. I think because if you want to reach the last mile, how do we take it at a multi-language level? And the second thing is, I think, ethical AI again. I think whatever we are doing, and then I think there were several people who have been experienced in AI, and we decided that I think if Insta can reach the last mile through phone, through mobile, people are using it. I think across it is being used. And why don't we have a simpler app which has basic learning of AI, which can be reaching the last mile? Because I think if you think of improving an infrastructure using a laptop, computer, it is not possible. It will take other 10 years for us to do it. Because we are also trying to do it, but it will take other 10 years for us to do it. But if you want to really scale it, how do you make it very simple, easy, basics of AI, through an app which reaches every mobile and it reaches the students and the parents in the villages. That's what thought about.
That's a fantastic example. Mobile first as a strategy. Yeah.
Hi, I am Dr. Shreya. I am taking AI training to different universities, including AIU and, of course, Indian Army and all. So my what we are doing is that in AI we are building agentic AI. So starting from whenever the student is approaching for a college, if as for example he is asking a questions, I do not have maths in my 12, so can I take BCom? So this kind of answer AI can easily give with the help of agentic AI. So starting from that, what the career a student can take. So AI can easily just ask different questions, and based on that, it can give the answers. And not only that, in case of interview, when the students are facing interview, the question and answer, he can do it with the practice with AI. So that in interview board, the students will not feel hesitate with the AI things. Now, I took training for 26 vice chancellors of India for the AI, and also the different registers from different universities in AI. And what I feel is that we should create awareness among the leaders, because they should then encourage the students. I feel AI is like a big elephant in the room, and there is no point ignoring that elephant in the room. So all of us has to accept, and we should create awareness of ethical usage of AI so that the students can be cautious and they can use like this. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Dr. Santosh. I'm a consulting to various academic institutes. So I would like to share one use case and another one which we are planning to develop. The first use case which we developed, like personalizing the learning and personalizing the assessment. Like suppose I teach a topic, somebody is good at writing, they may score a good marks, but somebody who is like not good at writing but good at doing or saying it or in other way. So we have personalized, we have identified 10 different ways of personalizing assessment of the same topic that a teacher has delivered, and the student can choose which assessment method they would like to have, and it's working really well. And we have connected it to the digital dashboards which goes back and monitor the students and build their persona, and that tool guides them like what would be potential career option for them basis their persona for 6 to 8 months based on their assessment. So that's working really wonderful. 90% of students say yes, this is what I am, this is what I would like doing. So another use case, like there are some good teachers, good teacher in a sense, all are good, but they're liked by the students. They say that whatever they are teaching, we understand. So we have set up a center of excellence in AI and AR/VR. So together, what we are trying to develop, capture the characteristics and make a avatar of a good teachers, and pass the script to that good teacher who can teach and personalize the learning. So currently, a sad part across the country is like we are paid for teaching, not for the what students have learned after your teaching. So generally, the measure is, I think AICT person is here. We measure how many lectures you have taken. But are we paid for taking lectures or learning of the students? That factor we are trying to bring in through AI. So whether students are really learning and whether they are doing a performance-based assessment. So through that avatars, we are trying to create an ecosystem around it, and we are trying to democratize this by putting in the good avatar and characteristic of the best teachers, and so that that platform can be shared across the nation. So that's what we are trying to do, and we are based out of Shegaon, Maharashtra, district Buldhana.
Hi everyone, my name is Paulami De, and I look at CSR for Lenovo and Motorola entities in India. At Lenovo, we have always believed that smarter technology can and must drive a smarter society. And through our vision of smarter technology for all, we are working to make sure that innovation and opportunity reach the last mile. Let me share a few examples of how this is playing out on the ground. We have a program called the Innovators of Tomorrow in government schools across Uttar Pradesh, where we are training girl students from classes 5 to 8 on coding, AI, and other 21st century skills. What is interesting is we've been running this program for more than a year now, and some of these girl students have actually started creating apps to address challenges that they and their families face on a daily basis, starting from when when they should be drinking water, what is the nutritional information about the foods that they take in on a regular basis. So this is one of our programs. We also have a similar program called the Apprenticeship Project with MentorMe, in which there is an AI, WhatsApp AI chatbot rather, where teachers and students can ask questions, and students can actually use the chatbot to review their homework as well. So this is truly the cradle to career approach that uses AI for education. We also have a lab, or rather a center of excellence in the National Institute of Engineering in Mysuru. It is the first twin lab of its kind in Karnataka, where engineering students use the lab for project-based learning. They have access to high-power computing, they have access to the latest electromechanical devices, and they are using that to actually practice what they are learning in the class. In Goa, we have a program with Bharat Cares, which is called the Lenovo Leap. It's a stream agnostic program, and it's catering to 10,000 students in Goa on technologies like full stack, web development, data analytics, using AI. So I feel there's something that our MD says all the time, that using AI in education in an ethical way is a it's not a problem that one corporate alone can address. So we should all come together, work together, and try to ensure that technology reaches the last mile. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Maybe I'll just add one point. We'll come to you. You know, we have a number of examples and we see the use of AI well, let's start with maybe secondary education, mid school, high school, vocational learning. One of the things that we wanted to focus and we started focusing on is one, capacity building of teachers and faculty members as a approach to ensuring better understanding of AI and better use case of AI. And we have a fairly large scaled up program in partnership with AICT actually to train faculty members on AI. I was wondering, and the other one that I think is becoming more important is when you go into higher education, one part of learning is learning, and even if it is assisted learning, classroom learning, the other is industry capstones. And we focus a lot on every student who's a part of our skilling program, 50,000 students who are a part of our larger skilling program. We try to ensure that they get an opportunity to experience a capstone project for them to understand what are the actual real-time use cases. So I was wondering if anyone has any examples in terms of what has been your experience with faculty development or teachers capacity building, and if you think that should be a priority. And second, how do we ensure better learning or better outcome, because we are finally talking about our young people becoming problem solvers with AI, right? How do we ensure better learning environment through hands-on learning in an advanced learning model?
I'm Dr. Kumar Siddharth Singh from Incubation Center, IIT Patna. Thanks for all the insights. It's really, refreshing actually to hear about it in open, what we have been talking about. I agree with all of you, and I also disagree with all of you, in my own opinion. I'm not a social scientist, certainly not in front of you. I'm a biotechnologist, I'm a scientist by training in science. Ethics certainly becomes a big issue. Being the data guy, you deal with ethics a lot. I'm very sure you must be challenged daily with it, which of course, very brave of you to, confess it in public also. My take is that ethics evolve as society evolves. So ethics, what we had, or people had 15 years ago, that is not the same now. So that is my vague understanding. Maybe it is true, maybe it is not. But that the same thing is happening going to happen in ethics in AI. AI being big data driven, a lot of data goes into it. And often, as scientists, we were trained that first you make a hypothesis, design an experiment, then you reach to a theory. Big data, man. First you have the data, then you see, what are the trends, and then you have the hypothesis and then the theory, right? So it has flipped. With AI, that is going to happen. So there is no other option, to just, ride on what is happening, and let the society come up with that. So we will have uncomfortable ethics. So that is something which has to happen. Now coming to the democratization of AI. So often I make dinner, and in the end, so I like to chop the vegetables. It takes out a lot of stress out of me. So while I do that, I consume a lot of data. I just switch on YouTube and all those things, and I let their AI do the maths for me. A random guy. Sometimes I don't even log in to see what is happening in the randomized space. 4 or 5 years ago, they were sending me a lot of ads with influencers regarding ChatGPT. Now they are doing it for Perplexity, which you might also, soon be experiencing, right? It is being democratized already. That's one thing. I'm also adding one more context, not to, sorry, on the risk of making it too complicated. So outside, I was talking with one guy, one entrepreneur. He's going to take something in IPO, and he was saying that we are working a lot in the startup ecosystem. We are, encouraging a lot of startups, but it's many times it's half-hearted, half-funded, half-supported, and there's so many adjectives I can add to it. What we are making as Abhimanyus, many Abhimanyus we are making. Abhimanyu, I think most people can relate to. So we will get them inside, and they will die there. Um, when we democratize AI using the vernacular languages, I'm in full support of it. That and I'm also a positive guy. Just don't think I'm a negative guy. Once we, of course, democratization of AI is happening, vernacular language it will happen. But do we want to make AI Abhimanyus? That is the question we have to ask, right? And what I'm trying to point out is, fine, vernacular language AI, but don't just keep it at this level, up the notch. That we are not ready yet with the technical education in engineering and medical, sadly, that's the truth. Will that happen in AI? Big question. But yeah, do we want to have AI Abhimanyus? That is my take. And yeah, the teaching part, quickly on that, as you rightly asked. So in IIT Patna at least, in most of the IITs, they don't want students to use AI because, of course, they will have their homeworks and tutorials out of that. And the faculty who are obviously not trained into AI, they are boggling that, okay, is this a nice explanation from the students or it is coming from some other else? So yeah, they have to be trained. Sadly, they are not yet. I keep myself trained for that because I don't want to be the biggest fool in the room. I am happy to be a mediocre fool. But yeah, thanks. That's all from my side.
Should be looked at from how much learning that students are acquired. These things scares me like anything. For example, am I going to get paid on how many lives I'm going to transform? I can make an effort there. And if these things are going to determine, then where you are going to stop? Ours and your salary bill will drastically reduce there. That's we sometimes we ethics goalpost is changing, shifting. That scares me like anything. I'm like, ethical standard, I may have defined it based on my own understanding, but those standards remains constant there. The day we start saying that in today's time this is okay to do it, it's okay to do it. Ethically it may not be okay to do it. You may be doing it. So these things scares me. Third is, in India, the moment the strangest part is that we are still communicating in a language which is not our language there. That's the scariest part there, because that means in India, 13% of total Indian population can speak and understand English there. Roughly, that means that 87% people are getting excluded. And these 13% people are defining, deciding, and decoding things that 87% people should be doing. That is scaring me like anything. So that is where I feel somewhere vernacular should come in there. Vernacular should come in with full force there, and we should encourage it. I'll be very happy that tomorrow AI का discussion हिंदी में, मलयालम में, कन्नड़ में, तमिल में, तेलुगु में, इन भाषाओं में अंदर में भी हो. So that हो सकता है हम ना समझे, चार लोग ना समझे भाषा में, 87% people are not understanding what we are saying. आज की तारीख में हो सकता है कि 10 लोग आपकी भाषा को नहीं समझेंगे, but imagine, and we are deciding things. जिसका नतीजा ये हो रहा है कि everything that we are defining it from our own way of thinking. We are looking at things from what is good for me. It's like everyone is wasting their time, and we are scrolling on Instagram reels. Because I feel that they are not responding when I want them to respond, but I am not doing what I am supposed to do there. That's where AI, we need to take it with pinch of salt, saying that there's a need to. One is very clearly saying that this is, you can't run away from this is something which is part of life, and we need to embrace it with whatever good, bad, it comes out with, and slowly and slowly let's reduce the bad part as consistently as possible. If we don't do it, I feel very I don't feel very happy when I say this, that majority of people will get alienated from what we are bringing it for them. We are defining education from the way I look at education. I am defining a livelihood from way I look at livelihood. Because I am the 13% there. That needs to be somewhere brought in there with clear dimension there. And there are, I was writing, when I was listening to you, I was writing what are the use cases for us in CSR, and there are a number of things that we have written. But all of these things that we are trying to do with maternal health, in farming, in livelihood, in education, in mental health, in identifying people with kids with dyslexia at the early stage, number of things we are trying to do using AI there. But every time whenever I meet these developers, my submission to them is that ensure that this should not just reflect what you think is good. My definition of good is limited to what is good for me. Sugar is good for a BP patient. Sugar is bad for diabetic. You can't blame sugar for things there. Sugar is good, no? So there are things which are good for someone. There are things which are bad for someone. Milk is good for someone, milk is bad for someone. So we need to somewhere identify what is good for large number of people there. That's what AI should be looking at in our discourses there. That's the only submission that I'm trying to make. No, I'm not arguing. There's no need. The only point which I made there was that don't make teachers community. I feel very sad about them. They are maligned in every platform there. वो काम नहीं करते, ये नहीं करते, वो नहीं करते, इनसे ये नहीं होता. उनको बहुत सैलरी मिलती. They get 50,000 rupees, sir. Our mate these days are getting 35,000 rupees, sir. And they are B.Ed, M.Ed people. So they are doing huge amount of work there, and at the moment, so मैं वही बोलता हूँ कि let's not bring it at a level where we can use AI to create the impact that India is looking for to become Viksit Bharat in 2047. That's the larger aim. That's where I completely agree that vernacular should be the way to do it, because that's where 87%. Otherwise, number of people, when I was meeting outside also, number of people are hesitant to talk to you because they feel कि अंग्रेजी नहीं आती मुझे. Break this. And AI can be a good tool. Bhashini can be a good platform to bring in multiple various languages there. Why can't a Santali speak in a forum like this? Why Anurag is only speaking English, which means that Anurag can show that Anurag is better than others? वो 87 versus 13% की लड़ाई है सर. We need to somewhere agree to this.
Thank you.
I certainly agree with some of the points which you said, and with the high impact example of that Abhimanyu also. I do agree that when I say the inclusiveness of the AI, it has been again positioned with the different contexts like the vernaculars and maybe the multi-language adaptability, so to say. But having said this, if you ask the same question to me as a student or the practitioner of a public policy, but in that context, what I would say is we can certainly achieve the impact of the AI if we give the equal opportunity of the access with the customized segments. Now, when I say customized, is that we cannot offer the AI access to a school kid. Entirely. In the same way, we cannot offer the customized access to the working professional like me or you, I suppose. So we should portray the AI frameworks in such a way that it should become a canvas to the curiosity for the school students. It should become the instrument of the skilling for the college students or the college fraternity, including faculty, I'm saying, not only student, wherein the entire functional system of employability at the workplace. So when I say, as you are saying that you work in the data, you play with the data. So if if you can come up with your understanding as a policy maker or a policy thinker, maybe whoever is working on the LLMs of the AI, they can take your input and build the system for the working professional so that we can create a more employability. On a flip side, if someone comes to me and asks me about the inputs for the policies related to the higher education, I should be in a position to tell him or her, to the software developer or the respective software professional, that I want a platform of the AI which can make my students and my faculties more skillful. Wherein on the other side, if the same person goes to the school area, I should be or we should be in a position to tell them with a very clear borderline that okay, these are the school kids, these are the school teachers. So you should not create the instrument of the AI for the school kid, or I would say the system of the AI for the school kid, but you should create a canvas of the curiosity of AI for the school kid, so that school kid can encourage himself with the curiosity of understanding what is this AI means. And accordingly, obviously, the teachers and the faculties are also being bifurcated in such customized segment. A teacher from the school or the teacher from the higher education should have a different understanding of the canvas related to the AI implementation also. So I do agree that, and in that case, if we can come up with this clear borderline of the understanding and the equal access of the AI, I don't think that we will create the Abhimanyus for that one, because in that case, certainly we can create more Arjuns like this.
And I think just as a quick summary of the points that you raised, I think that is exactly what we are starting with, right? Or we are considering that it has a staggered growth, and it's probably a pyramid structure or a progressively increasing structure, because not everybody needs to know all about AI. The positionings is going to be different at a school level. For example, if you talk AI and foundational learning or early stage learning, it's not about students learning AI. It is about if AI can deliver a better learning outcome. So you are using it as an AI solution. You're not saying kids below 12 years must learn AI. And I think we are all aligned with that, right? That's absolutely. You can explore, but you're not necessarily going to learn AI, and AI should be able to give you snippets of information or exposure that can develop more curiosity, learning, and so on. But as you move forward in advanced stages, which means from mid school, 14 years upwards, then you are introducing what does AI mean for you. And I think the point that came across is everywhere, that ethical AI is going to be the central point of conversation, because if you do not drive home the point that just because you know AI, no matter what level you are, whether you are a problem solver, creator, you do a lot of transformational work, to you are using AI in prompt engineering and doing only transactional work, let's say, ethics and integrity is central to everything that we do, and it's a moving piece. It's not one time developed, because the context and the frameworks and the boundaries of ethical and integrity is also evolving. And then comes the advanced use of AI, which is where you are responsible, you do know how to work with large data set, and you understand what you use and what you do not abuse from that context of AI. And I think it is all coming down to the idea of the framework that you said, that at what level do we suggest frameworks of how AI can be most effective in education, the various levels of education, skills development. And I think we'll come to one more observations from there, and then probably take 10 minutes to discuss what you think as the top 2 or 3 priorities for potential collaborations from a Biksit Bharat scenario. We talked vernacular, and I think it's very important. I think we'll have AI translate all of the learning content also, so that there is an important play there. But I think that aside, what do you see as the top 2 from your perspective of potential collaboration as a part of the India AI Skills Goals that corporates, not-for-profits, academia can work together on? Government can work together on, multi-stakeholders. Right. We have one observation there. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I'm Dr. Haley and I'm from Apexon. It's a digital engineering company and we do a lot of processes around AI and agentic AI as part of our business. I represent a platform called Apexon Ignite. It's our philanthropic platform and we are working for CSR and ESG globally. We take care of that aspect for our business. So one thing that, Rumi ma'am also shared that how do we train the teachers. With our STEM labs, we have not only provided the solution to learn about AI and coding only to the students, but also we are focusing a lot on the teachers' capacity and quarterly workshops and also hand-holding them every week. That is what we are focusing so that the learning gets translated into the students' mind. Another very important aspect that I wanted to focus is, when we speak about CSR, it is not only the funding which we promote at Apexon. Lot of our talents gets translated. So we are an IT company. Right from my CEO to all the bottom line worker, we go to the schools directly. We take AI workshops for the students in the government schools across locations. So we also take AI workshops in US, UK, in India at grassroots level. So that is the commitment, the convergence. If we speak about collaboration, the industry can give the check, which is the easiest thing to give, partnering with somebody and then we are just being the boss, which is the easiest thing. But from our commitment, our volunteers are going day in and day out to democratize the access to the AI. That is one thing. Second, what I wanted to speak is when we speak about skill development in AI, so in the morning session, I heard a very interesting comment that AI is not a separate vertical, but it is a horizontal vertical. It is embedded in everything. When we speak about healthcare, we are doing some predictive data analysis of, how to prevent somebody from cataract or how to prevent, so what are the cancer condition, and if you are also, on these lifestyle issues, you may have certain things in the future. So, healthcare, education, malnourishment, everything. So, whenever we are speaking about anything, AI is embedded in that. One such aspect is, we have heard about the automated driving system. So, we also do a solution for the, we call it ADAS, that is Advanced Driver Assistance System, which is also based on AI. So, what we have done is our volunteers have partnered with one of the government college in Coimbatore. We are taking sessions to them, and then with the capacity building, we will take them, within our company. So we are also trying to provide the career pathways to, so that more and more skilled workforce gets attracted to these kind of solutions. So that was the some comments that I wanted to make. Thank you so much.
think the agenda can be we are left with time because there is something that we should be doing for some of the initiative है उसके अंदर में आते हैं then we talk about that.
So maybe quickly, like the question that we asked, and for the forum together as a roundtable, 2 points. If we have to align future tech initiatives with the national development goals, and we are talking AI, we are talking future tech, what would be your 1 or 2 priority areas that we should focus on based on your experience, expertise, and your suggestion? And then we are presuming that most of us have some relationship with corporate responsibility, so either corporate responsibility or academic institutions. What is the role that we can play in developing or refining India's AI strategy? So if you have 1 point on one of these, then I think we'll go around the room and take your suggestion. This is also because this is a precursor to the program, so we are hoping that as a group we can come back, we can go back with some recommendations and solution. We really request you to stick to quick 1.5 minutes. I don't think we have time more than that, if that's okay. Yes.
Yeah, so as a policy, if we need to do an adaptation and adoption of AI, I think we need to change the concept of AI itself in education. For the children, it has to be something of an augmented intelligence rather than being an alternative intelligence. So something like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, something like that, if this kind of a concept can be brought in, that this is just augmenting the intelligence and not an alternative to the intelligence for doing your homeworks. That's the difference we need to bring about. In fact, I'm reminded of the very first question that I faced when I was doing my ME in IISc Bangalore, wherein the professor had written on top of the question, just one question, but on top of the paper, it was, you may consult anyone in the world. The stipulated time for this paper is 3 hours. If you don't complete it, please submit it tomorrow. So I'm sure the IITs must be looking at it, because these are the kind of places where the Abhimanyus are thrown into the water and then they swim out successfully from there. And they are created as Arjuns. So this part where it is brought in as an augmented intelligence, emphasis on that rather than alternative intelligence.
Anyone who wants to share? Yeah, just the mic there. Quickly introduce and
Very
quick
quickly.
1
Hi,
minute.
my name is Simar, and I represent Rishiyut University based out of Sonipat. We're a fairly young university, but I think that's the idea. I think one thing that we really try to focus on, with our learners is ensuring that there's a mindset of problem solving and looking at systems thinking, while they're looking at, problems or nation building ideas. And one thing that I do believe that will really change AI and ensuring that it penetrates the last mile is ensuring that there's a lot of social innovation and social disruption at from the learners level. So for example, when digital payments started in India, it just seemed like such a big scare, and it felt like
Can I just pause you in the interest of time and tell you, if you have a suggestion for a policy, how do we approach, and a specific one to say, let's focus as a group
Okay.
on this?
Let's focus on social innovation, creation of startups that take AI to the last mile.
Everyone henceforth is going to start with the line, let's focus on and then act. Nothing else, no.
Listening to everyone, although my colleague from AICT is also there. I think the topic was all going very interesting, but somehow I agree somewhere, I do not agree somewhere. As you said that I'll share, if I have 1 minute, I'll share one use case that was very interesting use case for AICT also. When we evaluate the examination system, I said if it is a bigger reform, use of AI, then it brings strategic changes. Like one use case I recently had in last discussion I had with the district magistrate of Udaipur, where he discussed that evaluation of the examination paper, descriptive writing, theory type, was evaluated by AI. You just think of that at end of our last exam, we have 1 month examination system, and after the last date of our examination system, within 90 days we are supposed to declare the results. Now these results are coming in a way, within 1 day the results are coming. How? AI is evaluating those papers. Assessment is being done by AI. And AI is not giving you the marks. AI is giving you what is the problem. Creativity is less, comprehension is good, analytical ability is low, logical reasoning very good. Example, use of example cases low, need to be improved that. Now think of, from a student perspective or a parent's perspective or a teacher perspective, when my teacher says that okay, AI will replace, I say no. AI will not replace the teachers, but teachers who know AI will replace those who do not. Right? So this is an add-on, augmentation. If we need to do such reforms, AICT definitely consider that. Even our Haryana State Board of Technical Education, we are thinking of such kind of situation where we can do reforms with AI like phenomenal. The changes can be done in the society. So many things are there, definitely debate will keep on going and there's no end to that.
Similar, sir, that whatever marks students have got, you would have got a marks, but not know why you lost those 20 marks. And AI agents are explaining you lost here, here, and here, and here, so improve here, here, and here. I think that's a fantastic use case for education across the board. Right? Anything else you want to share? Otherwise, we'll.
I know that your solitary time is going up.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Ayush Baga. I am the founder and CEO of iImpact. I'll just take 30 seconds and start with your question, sir. One of I want to talk about the third point here, which is India AI strategy and CSR on it. The key pillar of India AI strategy is exporting foundational models from India to the world. Now, when we try to align CSR into this India AI strategy here for the world, CSR can now start focusing on considering AI for implementation of all the social and climatic projects that we are looking at. Why? Only one reason. AI is not a horizontal, it's not a vertical, it's an entire canvas. It's going to replace the technologies that we have today, and we are seeing the growth of it. That's my point, sir. Thank you.
Hi. Yeah. So I'll very quickly try to summarize or tell whatever I wanted to say. My name is Aboli Ingre. I am from Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad. This is a Government of Telangana initiative. And we also work as the Hyderabad Science and Technology Cluster under Office of Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India's Cluster Initiative. I have two things to highlight here. Taking a back step, so last year, the Government of Telangana has launched the Telangana AI Roadmap Strategy. As a part of this strategy, there's one component which is very important, AI research and collaboration networks. So what we're trying to do in this particular initiative is, we've onboarded 6 different institutions there in Telangana, IIT, IIIT, NIT, ISP, NALSAR, and all these sort of institutional capacities which are working in AI space. You might think what NALSAR is doing. NALSAR is a law university, but there are still, as all of you have pointed out, AI in ethics, because responsible AI is going to be a thing. The idea is to use the capacities and capabilities of these local institutions and research institutions, and then connect them with the government departments to have some pilot projects running in. Or let's say, for example, I'll give you a very basic example. TGRTC, the Telangana Road Transport Corporation, was interested in exploring solutions related to advanced driver monitoring system, like she said. So we had a focus group discussion inviting all these different institutions and talking about whatever they're doing in that particular area. So now TGRTC and the institutions are exploring partnerships, like how exactly they can work together. So these are some of the models that we can adopt, is what I feel. We can have these collaborative network in different states where institutions can be a part of it, R&D institutions, IITs, IIITs, NITs, and we can use their capacities and capabilities to basically upskill and implement few AI-related solutions in the state. This is one thing, and the second thing is, okay, just one more minute. The second thing, so as we work very closely with the government, we do get mandates. So one of the mandate was to promote the entry and retention of women. Yes. So even though we can say AI skilling is required, we need to have AI solutions, there's a lot of AI infrastructure is required, but I still feel there's a lot of awareness that is required at the ground level, because this is happening in the urban spaces, but when we go to rural spaces, they hardly know about it. I didn't understand. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening. Can I just take 30 seconds? I'm Sanjay Ghatak from BML Munjal University. I think, and I represent Development Office, so I'm just trying to share the views what our faculty and teachers or academics group what I wanted me to share here. That as a higher education institution, we think that this is the time when it's important to look at AI education. So we have begun taking steps to leverage AI tools for personalizing students' learning journey, helping them understand their strengths, identify learning gaps, and receive adaptive feedback. Our goal is to ensure that every learner can progress at their own pace. To strengthen employability, we are also emphasizing capstone projects built around real data sets and industry problem statements. We are also, to take it further to the community level, at BMU, in our Startup Incubation Center, we have a women entrepreneurship program. There also, we are also supporting the women who are going through the incubation entrepreneurship program. We are supporting them to learn how to use AI into their new business startups to start with. Thank you.
So quickly, I just want to play the devil's advocate here, making sure that we don't end up creating Supandis instead of Abhimanyus, because I think AI, a lot of countries are actually banning the use of even smartphones in certain schools, right? Beyond a certain age, only then you can. If alcohol, you can only buy it after 18. Maybe we should also think of a devil's advocate and say maybe till 16 you don't use. Okay, our cognitive development is going for a toss. We are becoming dumber. There is no question about it. Okay, in the next 10, 15 years, your kids, your grandkids are going to be dumber than you. There is no question. Let's be very frank in that. Unless we have guardrails which says this is what you can do, this is what you can access, I think we are going down a rabbit hole. I don't know what, I mean, very, very brutal and honest. India is known for its intelligence. We are potentially going to lose it if we don't have guardrails around it.
This is a very good point to debate because who you don't give to will consider it as exclusion. And in a country like India, we have to say AI for all and then set the guardrails, because if you don't do that, anybody else who's not there, even if it is a 12-year-old, will feel excluded. And God forbid if the 12-year-old is from a certain geography and so on and so forth.
This is the point where I was coming earlier, that in schools, now there are urban schools, there are rural schools. In rural school, challenges are that basic education is a challenge. But now urban schools, in class 7th, 8th, I see my niece, she knows what a ChatGPT is. Her teachers in the class giving them solutions based on the ChatGPT. Her parents are solving their projects on ChatGPT, but we are not allowing the child to use the ChatGPT. Now the child is curious, he or she has a phone in her hand, she will do her own agenda. These are Gen Z kids, they know everything how to do it.
I think we came back to teachers' accountability.
Unfortunately, the Gen Zs think that they know everything. That's the problem. The only part which is missing, CSR can play a role in this particular thing, where if some of the CSR can identify, beta ab nahi. the CSR can play a huge role if we can identify some of this segment where we can pilot the AI in creating some use cases there. That's one. And also looking at some of the segment which may miss out. For example, socially underserved communities, if we can put them at the center stage of some of the work that's happening, that's where CSR role can be hugely engaged, so that we can get some of the results, because other segment may be interested for their own interest there, but CSR can look at the socially excluded, underserved community there. That's
in a collaborative.
In a way, because we need to agree that India being huge, no corporate can say that I can solve all the problem there, and we need to collaborate together in identifying where one can say that you pick this, I'll pick this, and I'll pick this, and then combine strategy based on what all we have done in different segments. We can present it to come out with the larger implementation roadmap there. Yeah, thank you.
I can summarize with the 4 point is that we should position the AI's framework as a very first, the ethical to the entire humankind. Another one is it should protect the data. Third one is the equal access opportunity with the some segments as per the categories of the school, higher education, and the workplaces. And the fourth one is, but obvious, which we have started this discussion with the point called inclusiveness, that is adaptability or the multilingual access for the demographic understanding, entire demographic understanding and access, so to say. So these are the major 4 points I just wanted to summarize for this discussion from my side. Thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic summary. We are in the interest of time because there is one more session that has started and some of you may have to go. So what the CSR box team is doing is circulating a piece of paper where you are, please add your email IDs. There are 3 points to what we would request you to respond on, and we'll circulate that with all of you. If you have any specific suggestions, recommendations, observations, please mail back to the CSR box team once they send the questions to you. And I know we could only cover certain rounds and we didn't hear from everybody in the room. I wish we had an opportunity to do that, but I think we had a great mix of insights from the government, from AICT, from state government education. I think we had a very, very beautiful examples of how AI can play a role and augment the teachers' work. And we have examples from what corporates are doing at this stage, partnering with not-for-profits to take AI learning to different segments of the population. So with that, I wanted to thank you all. And the CSR box team, Nupur and the team for getting us together for this very, very significant conversation. We of course wish we had 2 more hours to take in all the input and discuss and debate one full day. And I think that's a suggestion we are going to give to the CSR box team, given the interest in this area and the important role this conversation can play. We do hope we get another opportunity to talk. And if you have any specific suggestion, please reach out to the CSR box team with your suggestion. Thank you very much, everyone. Over to you, Nupur.
Thank you so much. I know the time was less and the discussion were very intense and very relevant to the AI and education and future tech for Bharat that we were discussing in silos. But I think this was a great forum to get the conversation started. And we have also collected some of your email IDs, if we can circulate this as well. So we have your email IDs as well. We will circulate some of the more questions. And if you are interested in continuing this forum forward, we will definitely create a formalized forum for it. We have also circulated a pledge that says that we are committed to future ready India through AI. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot for attending the event and getting the conversation started. I'm not saying this is we have a lot of takeaways from the event, but this was a great forum to get the conversation started. Requesting everyone if we can gather around the stage and we can have a group photo before we close this. ये कैमरा हटा लो प्लीज. कोई बात नहीं. Yes, and this was the pre-summit to the actual AI summit. The actual summit is happening in India on 19th and 20th.